Hello and welcome to another tutorial on my channel Create by K. My hook size is 3.5 millimeter, and for this pattern I go and chain multiple of 2. I start with my slip knot and now I chain 1, 2, 1, 2, and like this how long I want to be my project. For a 1, I go in each chain, make a loop, and I keep that loop on my hook. I already have the loop from the first chain. Now I go to the second chain. I grab the yarn, pull through, and make a loop. I just do like this to make sure they're the same height. Go with my finger right there, and I move to the next chain. I grab the yarn, I pull through. Again, I do like this. Go with my finger, move to the next one. To complete row 1, I'll grab the yarn and I pull through the first loop. Now I lose this loop I just made, this one right here, and I will grab the yarn and pull through that loop and the next one, that loop and the next one. Again I lose this loop. And I grab the yarn, pull through the loop and the next loop, and I do like this with all of them. And the last one. For row 2, lose the loop, the first loop, just a little bit, and now I go not on the first chain right here. I go to the next one in this way. I grab the yarn and I make a loop. Go with my finger right there to the next one, which is this one. I will go on this bump on top and make a loop. And now between this loop where I make the loop on the bump is a space, so I'll go right there in the space and make a loop. I have 3 loops. I will not count the first one. Now what I do is I will go on this space where is the first chain and the next one, the second one. So I go right there with my hook. I grab the yarn and I pull through, just like that. Go with my finger right there. Now I move to the next one, which is that one, and make a loop. To the next one, I'm gonna go here on the bump and make a loop, and then between and make a loop. Have the 3 of them. Now I need to go right here on this space, grab the yarn, and I make a loop right there. Again, I go to the next loop, make a loop, to the bump, to the next one, and I make a loop between, and now I go back on the space right there and I make another loop, a loop into the bump, a loop between, a loop. I go back and I make another loop, and one more time. Have the 3 of them. Now I go right here on the space and I make a loop, and I need to make the last one, which is this one. So I go on this loop and then I grab the one right there, so there are 2, and I grab the yarn, pull through to make a loop right there. Now to complete a row 2, I grab the yarn and pull through the first loop. Now I grab the yarn and pull through that loop, and then the next 3 loops, the next 3 of them. Then I pull through this loop and the next one. Again I pull through the loop and the next 3, and then 1, then 3 and 1, and I repeat with all of them, and then the last one. Now I go and I repeat row 2. I make this loop a little bit longer, then I go to the next one, which is this one, like this with my hook, and I make a loop. Now to the next one, I go right here on the bump and I make a loop, and then between and make a loop. Now I go back between the first and the second loop and I make a long loop, and I repeat loop, bump, space, go back into the space and make a long loop. Again, loop, bump, space, and I go back, make a long loop. And one more time. And I go right here and make the last. And now I just go and complete the row 2. Pull through the first loop, and now the next 3 loops. Pull through the next 1 loop, then the next 3 loops, then 1 loop and 3 loops, 1 again, 3, 1, and the last 3, and 1, and the last 1. And what I do is I keep going, repeating row 2 how many times I need.